Welcome to From the Frontlines. This is Jay Wilcox. Today we're entering the fracking zone. A look into the lives of Tammi and Matt Manning. A couple of days after the fracking zone began, the Mannings and some of their neighbors' water wells became contaminated. Man, what a nightmare. Wells bubbling at full boil, black water hissing methane. Just imagine. The DEP told the Mannings not to drink their water or use their stove. The high levels of methane coming from the sink would explode when they lit their propane stove. Tammi and Matt have been through a lot, and they have a message for New York. Don't do it. If you frack, there'll be problems. Don't do it. From Franklin Township, Pennsylvania, Tammi and Matt Manning.
When nobody had these problems until the wells were drilled. I mean, our problems started a matter of days after the well behind us was drilled. A matter of days. And it wasn't just us. It was more homes than just us. So you put two and two together. I mean, it just doesn't happen out of the blue.
We bought our home in November of 2010. In December of 2011, our water went bad. We contacted the township. They told us to contact the gas company that was drilling in our area and fracking. And when we contacted them, they came out, they sent somebody out to see what was going on, and a couple days later we got a phone call from the DEP. Wanted to know if we wanted them to open an investigation. I said yes, please. So they came out and did water samples.
Our well looked like when you look down before they put that vent on there, when you look down into the well,
it was at a full rolling boil.
Looked like it was boiling as hard as you can make water boil. And it was gas coming out. And the lady, she says, well, that's not methane doing that. That's your pump, honey. I said, first of all, lady, don't call me honey. I said, second of all, don't blame me for stupid. I said, because right now the power's off to the whole house. I said, there's no power to that well. There's no power to that pump. I said, don't tell me it's my water pump that's making that water boil.
And then another day or two later, another fellow came out, or well called, and wanted to know if he could come out and do air quality samples in our home. So the DEP came out and they drew water. This other guy came out and he waved a wand in front of our faucet and told us that we shouldn't use our kitchen stove because it was propane. And we have open flames, and it was too close to the faucet, so it could have started a flash fire. He told us that in the bathroom, our bathroom was small enough that if we showered with the doors closed, that it could be combustible, so we should keep the bathroom door closed or open.
Don't smoke in the shower.
Don't smoke in the shower. We had to keep the window open in the bathroom and the fan going, so that it would suck all the methane out that was coming out of the shower.
At that point, the water, when you turn the water on the faucet, it just spit air and gas out the faucet just nonstop. I mean, it was 90% air coming out of it and the other 10% water. Well, the thing is,
it's heartbreaking.
You have all these problems and nobody wants to admit it. That's the thing. Nobody wants to admit that there's problems, that there's accidents, that there's spills. Gas companies just go on and on and on about how safe they are, how safe this is, and there's no problems, but...
Follow your heart. Wisdom comes the ones who learn. Can't believe what they say.
You look at the history of it, and there's tons of problems everywhere. Not just here, it's everywhere they've been. And how can anybody just say that there's been no problems and that it's perfectly safe? It's not. There's going to be problems. If you're going to have it in New York, you're going to have problems. Greed, money.
It's not just the politicians, it's the landowners.
50 years from now, when you got no water to drink or anything, then people might say, well, geez, maybe I should have stopped and think about it.
Our governor made major cuts to the DEP. Major cuts. Why would you do that when you're sitting on Marcellus shale and you've got all of these problems that come with this? Why would you make cuts to the DEP? It doesn't even make sense.
They just do their thing. And then the gas companies report back to the DEP of what problems they had, and how many problems you think even get reported.
Everybody's supporting the industry. Nobody cares about the wildlife. Nobody cares about the trees or the people that live here. It's all about the industry and supporting the mighty dollar, the energy that they're getting from it. Look at what's going on. We're creating our own doom. Look at it's 65 degrees and it's December what? December 3rd or 4th today? 5th?
And last year was record warm.
65 degrees.
Everything's changing. Methane's supposed to be the number one the worst greenhouse gas, and yet there's all kinds of it leaking all over the place.
They're flaring wells here, flaring them there. They have great big outdoor furnaces all over the place.
Well, methane's migrated to the ground, is seeping out of the ground in places it never did before, going into the atmosphere.
In our creek.
Into the creek right behind our house has got methane bubbling out of it that never did before, until they drilled these wells around us, and that's all going into the atmosphere. How much do you think is coming out of those compressor stations? They leak it like crazy. How many of those pipelines do you think are 100% leak proof?
We looked
Probably
at our
not.
well through an infrared camera and we could see the emissions coming off that.
And look like a smokestack with the methane coming out of it.
That's just one well. But the gas companies, I don't even think they're getting fined for a lot of this stuff. I'd be willing to put money on the fact that they're not even getting fines. They're probably getting violations and slapped on the hands, and shame on you.
Don't do it again.
Be more careful next
'Cause
time,
who's
or else
watching?
don't let somebody catch you.
Who's watching them and making sure that they're complied? Do they have investigators and people to go in and look at all these well pads? No. Only one in how many well pads do they have someone go and actually see what they're doing? They let the gas companies report back to the DEP to tell them what's going on.
The compressor station down here is a couple miles from New York State, and the closest monitoring place that monitors the emissions coming off is in Scranton,
Which is
Wilkes-Barre area,
40
which is
miles away.
40 miles south.
Yeah.
And the jet stream flows north. So who's going to even regulate that one? I've gone to Debbie Preston's office with video of my well erupting. She's the Broome County executive.
Yeah.
And, she knows our family. I've taken a video to her during open office hours and said, look, this is what's going on in Pennsylvania. Please rethink this. I've gone to a rally in Albany. Please rethink this. You have such a beautiful state. We lived there. We lived in Conklin for a long time. We lived in Windsor. We loved it there. I say bear in mind that you're going to have to answer to your creator in the end.
Yep.
And you're going to have to explain how money trumped people's lives and the environment that God created for people. Explain how the economy was more important than the creation.
According to politicians and their corporate masters, we can't wait for peer-reviewed science because of the economy. It's the economy, stupid, they tell us. It's being stimulated. No code enforcement, industry regulated. Politicians becoming lobbyists of the gas industry. Shills, bagmen. You've been watching From the Frontlines. This is Jay Wilcox. Thank you.